Have I posted yet today? I don't think so. So I should check in. What is going on here? Is the movie Galaxy Quest where like the bald people like are the aliens and they've got these things? I feel like, anyways, I was doing some voice acting, so that's why I had to have those on. And now it's the part of the night where I probably should go to bed. I already had dinner, like late, probably around 8 o'clock. But my favorite part of the day is to go up to the kitchen, maybe pour a bowl of cereal, maybe put on the Philip DeFranco show and just have my good friend Philip talk to me, tell me about the day's news. It's very comforting to see a face I recognize and eat some puffed wheat, maybe with a bit of syrup on it. But, you know, then I have indigestion all night and I wake up too late in the morning. But it's my favorite part of the night. Okay, so that's usually where I see what the temperature is when I start my story here. And, wow, minus 14, that's very cozy. I haven't been outside yet today. But that makes me happy to know that it's still cold because it's just kind of cozy, you know? Look at the snow. There's you see that light there? You see, like, there's an apartment there? That makes me nostalgic. Like, just, I feel like whenever you see, or whenever I see, like, a house from the outside and I see a light on, I just go, oh my gosh, it must be so nice and cozy in there. It makes me happy to know somebody's in there. But, you know, conversely, they could be looking and seeing the light here and go, oh, it must be so nice here. And I'm like, no, it's just me. What else? March. It's such a short word that I didn't even abbreviate it. Like normally I put Feb 1 or whatever on my story, but this one I just went full March. Like what was I going to put? Mar? Like I couldn't type a CH? Let me try to think of what I did this morning. I woke up. I was lying there going, oh yeah, the stock market opens today. I better look at that. But I guess Charlotte from Vietnam called, and so we chatted, and I figured, okay, I owe her, you know, to talk to her. And last night she called too, and I showed her my face cream, I guess. I don't know, maybe she didn't call. I guess she probably did. And then what did I do today? I think I mostly did a bunch of voice auditions, because there was like one that was due Friday that I was late on, because just looking at the email intimidated me. It said there was like lots and lots of parts for this video game. I'm like, oh, this is going to take a while to sit down. And so I finally did it. I did like 20 auditions, different accents and stuff. And then my agent said, she already spent the whole weekend sort of sorting through them. She'll see if they'll still accept them. So hopefully she can, because I put a lot of work into it. But of course you got to do the work on time. And that was basically my day. My mom came in with her like running tights on. I don't know what she was doing out this morning, some kind of athletic thing. This is around 1 o'clock, and I was finally upstairs eating some chicken bologna, because that's what my dad bought, and a pita that I bought a couple of days ago. And she's like, oh, you're eating lunch at lunchtime. I'm like, yeah, it's my first time eating today. I had to come upstairs. I was doing voice acting, and my stomach was growling, and it's interfering with the sound, so I'm like, all right, I better eat. It's funny how the growling thing kind of gives me permission to eat, and I feel like, oh, look at me, I've actually not eaten enough, but now I have to eat. It's not my fault that I'm eating, because my stomach won't let me do my voice acting. I don't know, I shouldn't feel guilty about eating. I should feel guilty about not having bed sheets here. What in the world? I took them up to get washed, and now I don't have them, and my mom was like, I haven't seen any sheets in the laundry for a while. I'm like, yeah, I guess I should bring it up. I guess I could go upstairs and get them. I'm too lazy. Like, how lazy am I? For a few days there, like when I was at the grocery store yesterday, I seriously considered buying toilet paper, even though we've got toilet paper upstairs. But I'm like, I don't want to have to go up 2 floors to get toilet paper. But I went up today. When I brought the sheets, I'm like, I'm coming down with toilet paper. So, here's a joy. After I eat or do whatever I do in the kitchen, I'm going to use my Nivea for Men, which I'm very excited about. It's probably not even good for your skin. I went to the health food store years ago. I said, what would you do if you're going to spend all the money on like perfect health care? And he was like, or like skincare. He's like, I would, what do you do? He said, put on sunscreen during the day, and then at night, nothing. Just spray your face with rose oil. And I'm like, no, but I want to know the secret. I want to know, like, if I slather it with some kind of cream, but, you know, your skin kind of just needs to breathe on its own. I'm like, it's too bad. So this morning, my boss, or my old boss, my original boss from 20 years ago, Giannis, he messaged. He's like, hey, what's going on? Because he messaged yesterday too, I think. He wants me to work on this website copy, and so I've said, yeah, let me work on it today. So I finally sat down to do it tonight. I'm like, oh, there's a lot of little sections, and it's not just writing. He wants me to come up with what to say for his whole marketing website. I'm like, so that's going to take a little while. So I'll have to work on that tomorrow. And then I saw, when I was doing all my voice auditions, I saw a couple of calls for kids. So I'm like, all right, I'll post them in my. I have casting groups for kid voice actors, and a bunch of moms have sent me. It's funny how it's always moms. There's never dads. Find a bunch of, and Alec Baldwin just a sixth kid. I gotta have some kids. Remind me to talk about the guy from what's his name? Neil. The guy who won a Golden Globe last night. Anyways, a bunch of moms sent me some voice auditions. So if you want to check those out, they're on my Facebook page, and you can send me auditions for your kid, because I want my sister to do them, but she doesn't take the time to record her kids. She's busy, I guess. So Neil, what was his name? Norman Lear, who created like All in the Family and stuff. Somebody I assumed wasn't still alive, but they were talking about Norman on the Golden Globes, and my parents were like, who's Norman? I'm like, is it Norman Lear? But I kept that in my head because I'm like, it can't be. But no, he's 98, and he got an award, and he was talking about how he has kids ranging from age 26 to 74. Is that possible? Yeah, and he said he's had a wife for 30 years, so that would mean 68 he was when he got the current wife, and then one of this 24-year-old kid and stuff. So there's still hope for me. There is still hope. I don't know how, because I watched a video about the history of Udoic. I was just watching that right now, and it's funny, I didn't realize, like, Timothy Dalton, who replaced Roger Moore, he's exactly my dad's age, like just even a few months older. So I'm like, oh, so when I was a kid, I was looking at the guy like, oh wow, I want to be like him, and he was my dad's age. Didn't realize it. But I guess, people can be James Bondish at that age, or not, or more like my dad. Who am I more like? Don't answer that. And then Roger Moore started at 45, which means 3 years ago I could have started being James Bond, and then he finished at 57. And in View to Kill, he was 58. They said, I thought it was 57, and then he was already feeling too old, and his love interest was 30 years younger than him. Tanya, and her mom was 45 at the time, and so Roger Moore was feeling, and then they were saying, he kind of seemed lecherous, they should have had women that were more his age, and I'm like, I don't want to, 10 years I'll be too old to be James Bond. But they said it would have been better if it was women even just a bit older for him, and they said also, and 10 years later he was in a movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme, and he actually looked fitter and better. And so that would have been 68 and stuff. So maybe there's still hope. It's like I said, he was sick of that part and stuff. It's like, oh, that's fair. So I don't know, man. But if you become as rich as Jeff Bezos, maybe people don't even care how old you are. It's just like, you do whatever you want. Okay, on the one hand, I enjoyed watching a Bill Maher monologue and Michael Knowles rant, and started watching Ben Shapiro argue with a Democrat about minimum wage. But I was eating too much. I had puffed wheat, and I had a whole pita with cheese and hummus and margarine. I should have gone to bed without eating.